Good morning, Dubai. How are you doing? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Love in Dubai Daily Life. We talk about the trending stories that Dubai is talking about. It's Wednesday, but I do feel like the days are flowing into one. Usually, I have my Love in Dubai sign, but we're having some technical difficulties this morning, so it's a fish, and I feel like it's changing. Maybe that represents all like the fishies that are coming into Dubai waterways at the moment. Now I don't even know what that is. We'll move on. Our top stories this morning, we're talking about the reopenings of 9 different commercial activities. This story got a huge amount of traction yesterday, and I want to talk about what Dubai economy have said the purpose behind opening them is. We're also going to be talking about the fact that Dubai is putting a farewell sticker on some passports of people who are able to leave the country, which is pretty cool, and also talking about common COVID-19 questions. We were fortunate enough to have someone who's been experienced COVID-19, who's Amy in our office, who actually spoke to us about her experience. And then she drafted a lot of your questions that you sent to us. She drafted them up and we put it in an article. So I'll go through some of them, which I think are quite valuable, just kind of the little ones that we all have and that we're all wondering. And the fact that she was able to put them all down for us is kind of great. But first we'll talk about reopenings. Coffee and tea traders are back in business, along with meat traders, fruit and vegetable trading, roasters, mills, fish trading, and coffee and tea trading. So this was announced by Dubai Economy yesterday. They declared permission for these traders to resume business. Of course, they'll all have to follow the strict hygiene standards. They'll be allowed to open from 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And all employees will be required to get a permit. And I think the question mark was over. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of numbers rising. So therefore, why are some commercial activities resuming? But the purpose of this is basically as we're coming to the holy month of Ramadan, which is expected to start on the 23rd, I think, or 24th of April. They want families to be able to prepare. So these are all traders. So for example, meat trading, fruit and veg trading, sweet and chocolate shops within malls will be allowed to open. And basically for families to be able to prepare for Ramadan, this gives them more opportunity. And of course, like I said, there'll be strict hygiene standards that they'll need to uphold. There'll be regular checks by the DED and all of everything that goes along with it. But just the purpose is so families can begin to prepare for the holy month. And yes, that story did get a lot of traction. But we'll move on to our next one. Dubai is putting goodbye stickers, farewell stickers on passports. So I just think that this is just an incredible attention to detail for some of the people who were stuck in the UAE. So obviously when the airlines grounded for a little bit and the airports closed, there were people that were stuck in the UAE. Just like in other countries when borders closed, there were people stuck inside and outside. And now as a number of flights resume, we did talk yesterday about how Emirates has opened up 7 new destinations and how as a number of flights have resumed, people are returning to their home countries. The General Directorate of Residency and Foreign Affairs has launched a special farewell sticker. So it says on the sticker, I just think it's such a nice attention to detail. It says, "We'll see you soon," and just the fact that it's kind of like a collector's item. I feel like this is or it will become one. I feel like this is such a special moment in time. It's scary and it's challenging, but to see this kind of level of attention to detail from authorities to people as they're leaving DXB is kind of shows the level of attention that people usually get when they arrive to DXB. And moving on to our final story, so the most common questions for anyone who gets COVID-19 in the UAE, like I said, so maybe you saw her live, but Amy, who is content director at Love in Dubai, she has had an experience with COVID-19. She originally tested positive for it. She was quarantined at a hotel in Dubai so she could fully isolate. She was incredibly well looked after, and just 2 days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, 2 days ago, she received her second negative test. So now she's at home self-isolating again. But obviously her journey is very interesting, how she was looked after by the Dubai Health Authority, how it felt to her. And I will drop this in the comments below after, but it's just what we did was before we went live on Instagram, we asked you what are your questions, we put them all together, and then we answered them on the live. So I think some of the most common ones were, for example, how did you find out you had COVID-19? And her response is, when I tested and received the positive result. I had all the main symptoms of COVID-19, so I worked on the assumption that I had it and I kept myself quarantined, but you only really know when you get the positive result, which I think is, I know it makes a lot of sense, because I think if we have like a throat tickle We could be nervous about it. Someone even asked if you have white spots on your throat, does that mean that you have COVID-19? So I think if any of us are experiencing any type of flu symptoms, we may question it. But like Amy said there, you have to get the test, I guess, to know that you definitely have it. But it's very, very thorough. She went through the experience of having it, her time in quarantine. So where did you get quarantined? She said, initially I was quarantined at home and I was then transferred to a hotel near Dubai airport that was run by the American hospital. And then there's another question, how did they treat you and how was recovery? She said, when I was transferred to a hospital, honestly, I can't speak highly of the doctors and nurses at the American hospital. They were fantastic. And then in quarantine on arrival, she received a full checkup of her general health. That included another COVID-19 test. She was actually tested every 3 days. And you're only allowed to leave after you've had 2 negative tests, which I think is amazing. She also had different types of blood tests, blood pressure, her temperature was checked, her blood oxygen levels were checked, her chest x-ray was checked. It was just, she said that she was poked and prodded, but that the whole experience really made her feel very sure that she was getting the best medical care possible, which I think is very reassuring for all of us to hear. She talked about the type of food she received. She talked about how she actually felt in isolation. I think although we're quarantined, we're in our homes, and I think it could be it's a different level when you're in a hotel, when you're not allowed to leave the 4 walls of your room. And she did talk about that experience. She was very upbeat. A lot of people did comment on that. I think we met her at the end of her journey. We were able to go live with her, and she was able to speak that she got through it. I'm just reading here. She was addicted to jigsaw puzzles. She was trying to learn a new language, so she really used her time, which is pretty fantastic. And then she also added the most frequently added questions. So is the healthcare and hospital stay for free? And for her and for everyone it is. How long it took her to get cured, which was 10 days. And it's just a really comprehensive Q&A from someone who's been through it. And and answers a lot of the basic questions that we have. So like I said, I'll drop it in the live below and you can have a read of it there. Those are top stories, and just before we finish off, we do always show our isolation diaries, and this one makes me smile so much because I can relate to it. ISO diaries from Jaspreet Bedi. I'll just play it for a second. So what she said is, so you can see there's 4 different girls, maybe there's 4 or 5 different girls in it, and she said when you're isolating and you need your gal time, 100%. If we're so lucky to be able to log on to Zoom calls and stuff like this, Skype for business, and just anything to just stay in touch with people, whether we're working out with them or just dancing online or something to keep us motivated and entertained. Anyway, those are our top stories, guys. Hope you have a great one, and we'll be back tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Bye.